What's going on, everybody? I'm Jason Schroeder with Vital MTB, and today we are going to talk through the new Bell Full-10 Spherical. So this is pretty big news coming from Bell, as it's been a number of years since they have released a new full-face helmet. They are coming off the success of their Full-9 that came out about 8 years ago. Saw a lot of success at different levels with World Cup Downhill, BMX, Freeride. They had a Fusion 9 somewhere along the line that introduced MIPS into their full face helmets, but this is a big evolution for them and a big evolution on them wanting to take on some different new helmet designs and evolutions of where their full 9 was. So kind of jumping right into why would Bell take on developing a new helmet? Sort of the key aspects they focused on were rotational impact improvements, rotational impact management, ventilation, goggle compatibility, and fitment. Okay, rotational impact management. I think most people are pretty versed at this point that impacts when you crash are not in a linear manner. Usually your helmet is being impacted in such a form that it's going to be rotating on your head. So the Full-10 uses a spherical design that works much like a ball and socket. It was co-developed with MIPS, and basically what you have is two EPS liners. We actually have an EPS outer liner and an EPP inner foam liner, and they can move independently of each other. So you're still getting great rotational impact protection, plus dual density foams. One of the pros with dual density is that it can help mitigate both high-speed impact and lower-speed impacts, and all of that is just added protection from where the Full-9 previously was. So the Full-10 passes all bike helmet safety verifications, plus the new NTA 8776 e-bike rating, which doesn't sound like it's that important, but it is a new standard that is becoming more and more prominent for new helmets coming out of the market, and I think it's one that we're going to start seeing more and more helmets have to have that certification. Moving on to ventilation, the spherical design also allows the helmet to basically channel air between those two foam liners. So you end up with having a bunch of intake vents at the front and a bunch of exhaust vents at the back. Like looking at the back of this helmet, it has a very unique look, just two massive vents out the back. I mean, basically you have 16 forward-facing vents, and then those three huge rear exhaust vents. Whole idea here is just to be pulling air over your head. It also works fairly passively if you're not moving. And then a pretty unique and very standout look is those over-the-brow vents on the front. And those are actually probably one of the features I was the most hyped on when I was wearing this, because it helps a lot, or helps really well with managing sweat through goggles, getting air over your forehead and over your brow, keeping sweat from ending up on the inside of your goggles. All right, on to goggle compatibility. So when the Full-10 launched 8 years ago, goggles were just simply not as big as they are today. Most goggles have a much larger field of view, and the Full-10 was designed with that in mind. Basically, they made this helmet to where it'll fit more or less any goggles that are on the market. It allows goggles to sit much closer to your face, avoid like unnecessarily goggle float, which can be annoying. And it's probably the one feature that when I put this helmet on for the first time stood out the most. The field of view is incredible compared to a lot of other full face helmets. You don't have the chin bar obstructing anything. You don't see the edge of the helmets and the peripheral vision. And I wore this with a few different goggles throughout testing and never had any issues with compatibility. So all of these safety features and making sure your goggles fit on your face are super great, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't fit and the helmet doesn't fit and it's not comfortable, it really doesn't matter. So Bell definitely put a lot of energy into kind of maintaining the head form that made the Full-9 as successful as it was, but also worked in some customization and fine-tune fitment options with the Full-10. So when you get this helmet, it comes with 3 different cheek pad sizes, and then there's also 2 additional sizes that you can get separately. So it comes with a 35, a 40, and a 45. You can get a 30 on the smaller end and a 50 on the bigger end. And Yeah, it allows for that fine-tuned fitment. If you're between sizes, it's definitely a feature that will benefit you. Another cool feature with them is that they are magnetic, so pulling them out is super easy for cleaning. Another huge advantage of this feature is in the case of a crash, first responders, they can take off your helmet much more easily. So, something that I'm assuming Bell might actually have patented, because you don't see this very often with the magnets, but a very cool feature. The cheek pads as well as the inner liner pads are antimicrobial, and they are removable and you can wash them as well. All right, so rounding out the details of the Full-10, we have a flying bridge visor, which is designed to break away in the event of a crash. You have a built-in action camera mount on the top. It does not come with a spare visor, but you can get one separately. It's available in sizes extra small to double extra large, so it's around a 51 to 63 centimeter head. And the weight on this is really comparable with where the Full-9 was. So Bell says that weight wasn't a priority when they designed this helmet, but it's still incredibly light for the added safety features that they've developed into it. Our size medium weighed right around 1,100 grams, and I believe a medium Full-9 was right around 100 grams heavier than that. So still super competitive with weight. All right, so a helmet that is this tech heavy, I'm sure everybody is wondering how much it is going to cost you. So the Full-10 retails for $600 US. That is expensive, and Bell is aware of that and made it clear that when they designed this, it was with the goal of making the safest helmet and making the highest end helmet that they can. So it might not be a helmet for everybody depending on where you are in your journey of being a mountain biker, but it's a helmet that you aspire to have, and their hope is that the safety and the technologies, the fit and the comfort, all of that helps justify the price tag. Alrighty, moving on to impressions. So I got this helmet back in August during Whistler Crankworks and spent that entire week wearing this helmet for most of that time. I rode the Full-9 for many years prior, and it was always kind of my helmet with which I compared other full-face helmets to. And I think the Full-10 will probably replace that at the top of the list. I really enjoyed this helmet for a few different reasons. I think I'd already mentioned, the field of view, but putting this helmet on for the first time, just the ability to not have the helmet obstruct any of your view, the way that goggles fit into the goggle opening. I think they use the term like panoramic, but I think it really is an accurate word for how well you can see out of this helmet. Bell has kind of been notorious with having like a shorter chin bar, which isn't always for everybody, but it's a feature that I enjoy. I enjoy the aesthetic of it. During the week that I rode this helmet, it was super hot up in Whistler, which was a great opportunity to test the breathability and airflow that the Full-10 has. And I'm not going to say it's like revolutionary or felt incredibly different than anything I've worn, but it breathes really well. There was no moment that I thought the helmet was overheating me. Definitely the vents over the brow were something that made a noticeable difference I'm a big sweater, and typically it's off of my brow into the inside of my goggle lenses, and I did not have that issue wearing the helmet, which was awesome. Other than that, comfort is great. I think Bell's always done a great job with their liners and the padding and comfort. Their cheek pads are super comfortable. I've historically always worn a medium helmet, and I sized up to the 45 millimeter cheek pads to make up a little bit of difference on fit. So I think if I were to be asked how the helmet fits, it fits pretty true to size, maybe a tad big, but like I've said, you're going to get 3 different size cheek pads. You should be able to make up any difference there. So overall, I think if you look at the Full-10, it has a very refined and aesthetically is a super cool and good looking helmet. For anybody that knows Bell's Moto 10 helmet, they'll know right off the bat that clearly, Bell leaned on some design aspects when they designed this helmet. But a lot of that is to be said that even though, with the spherical design and having 2 EPS, shells, it's not a super bulky helmet. I think if you were to compare it to helmets a few years ago, it might look like that, but nothing, it doesn't look like you've got some big helmet on your head. It doesn't feel like that when you wear it. It has a very wrap around, full encompassing feel that, makes you feel comfortable that you have a very protective helmet on. Yeah, and overall, I think that if you are somebody who's ridden in Bell's Full-9 previously, or somebody who's looking to, get a premium full face helmet offering, this is a great option. You're going to get all of the safety protection options that you would want out of a helmet, with great comfort, fine-tuned fitment, the ability to wash your pads, and the aesthetic of a helmet that looks super sweet. All right, well, there you have it. Bell's new Full-10 Spherical. For more information, you can head to bellhelmets.com, and thanks for watching.